Okay na ba to? Recording na ba to?
Oo, Chris.
Okay na. Okay na? Okay. By the way, good evening. I am Christian B. Cañones from Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Colleges Marbel Incorporated. And kayo, pasyente.
Good evening, ma'am. I am Stephanie B. Pasyente, a BS Ed, major in English at Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Colleges Marbel Incorporated po.
Jean.
And I am Jennifer Stia Gallego po, ma'am, from Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Colleges.
And actually, we are here to ask you regarding to journalism. And I found out that you are one of the best writer in KNCHS, and that is why yun na nga, ni-reach out kita na ganun. And at the same time, we just want to know something more about you, especially on your experience in writing or in dealing with journals. And would it be okay na i-publicize yung name mo, Miss Alia? Sa namin, as sort of evidence lang naman.
Sure,
okay
no
lang.
problem.
Thank you. And ngayon naman is mag-start tayo sa first question. Ready ka na ba, Miss Alia?
Yes, ready. Let's
Okay.
go.
So yung first question ko would be identify the problems they meet in operating a campus paper. Actually, as we all know, that as a writer, we tend to experience a lot of problems in operating. So, what do you think are the problems that you have encountered?
Sige, so ayan, good evening everyone. I'm Alia Baito. Papakilala muna ako. I'm a third year BA Communication and Media Arts student sa TUP Mindanao sa Davao City. So, sabihan niyo lang ako kung hindi audible or mahina signal, I can repeat my answers.
Okay.
So, regarding your questions, meron ako naisip na tatlo na main problems na na-encounter ko as one of the journalists and writers of KNCHS Recorder nung nasa high school pa lang ako. As a managing editor, when I was in grade 11 and grade 12, one of the major problem that I've encountered is managing time with ACADS and as a campus journalist. Siguro naman pag may ginagawa tayong extracurricular activity and then driving that one with ACADS, medyo nagkakahalo-halo yung oras natin. So, it's really managing your time as a campus journalist and as a student na especially sa akin, sa part ko, medyo grade conscious. So medyo nagkakaroon ako ng problema doon. Number 2 is cooperation of all the CJs. As the second highest na position, managing editor, kasi yung highest is ang editor-in-chief namin. So, I have to make sure na lahat ng mga team members ko na nasa KNCHS Recorder is nagko-cooperate with each other kasi mahirap mag-function na iba-iba yung mindset ng mga tao doon, iba-iba yung gusto nilang gawin sa aming grupo, sa aming organization. So, I have to make sure also that cooperation is there. And number 3, ang nalista ko, naisip ko is gathering of news items. Although malaki naman ang KNCHS, pero there are times na medyo nakukulangan kami sa news items. So we really have to think out of the box para may makuha kaming news items na hindi lang karaniwan, hindi lang typical sa makikinig or magbabasa ng aming dyaryo. So yun ang nalista kong tatlo na main problems that I've encountered.
Thank you, Miss Alia.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then our second question would be, what are the solutions you've done or they've done rather to manage well the campus paper organization, yung campus org rather?
Sige. So, isa-isahin natin. Yung sa first problem ko nga na sinabi kanina is managing time, diba? So, ang una kong ginawa doon is the typical one, having a notebook to list the activities that I have sa ACADS and at the same time sa campus na ay sa KNCHS recorder. In that sense, in that case, parang mas alam ko na, ito sa ganitong oras, ito yung gagawin ko. Sa ganitong oras, ito naman. Para hindi siya sapaw-sapaw pa. Ganon. Pangalawa, sa problem naman na cooperation of all the CJs, ang naisip ko doon is, it should have a good mix of being autocratic and being just a friend to your members. Kasi not all the time, okay yung autocratic na leader ka, magmando ka lang kung anong gusto mo mandoon. You also have to be friend with your members to build rapport. Sa ganoong paraan, mas makaka-come up kasi kayo ng team na makaka-come up kayo ng news items, ng mga ideas na mas comprehensive when you are thinking casually with your group members na friends mo. And then, pangatlo, yung gathering of news items, ang akin lang dyan is look beyond your naked eyes. Think out of the box. List down all possible items na pwedeng maging news articles. May sense man or wala, you have to list that down. And then, doon ka lang pipili. Filter mo lang kung ano yung dapat na kasama na ipapublish talaga. So, yun lang naman. 3 points na problem, 3 points on how to address that. I hope that makes sense or nag-make sense ba yung answers ko?
Aside from that, actually, ano na to ha, ibang side na ito na question. Regarding naman sa background mo, tell me about your background, especially in your responsibility. Actually, di ba kapag ganito yung role mo as journalist, ano pa ba yung iba na ginagawa mo? Parang extend na service mo sa journalism yung gano'n.
Extended sa KNCHS recorder, aside from being one of the writers, isa din akong radio broadcaster for 6 years sa KN. Actually, simula pa nung elementary. So, yun, aside from writing, I also do broadcasting. And then, nag-help din sa ibang members, kunwari. Pero like, super duper minute lang na help. Kunwari, sa TV broad namin, I do makeups, ganyan. Help lang kina Zahara. I know you know her, diba, Chris? Si Zahara, siya kasi yung face ng TV broad namin. So, nag-help, ganyan. So, team effort lang yun. Friend lang with each other.
Have you ever been joined to some competition, especially when you were in elementary, high school, or even now in college?
Competitions. Yes, simula pa noong grade 6 ako, nag-join na ako ng broadcasting na competitions. So, yun, doon talaga parang nag-go ang aking niche sa broadcasting. So, naka-join ako DSPC hanggang RS. DS means Division, Schools Press Conference. Then, nag-RS and then National NSPC noong grade 11. That was the only time that I won sa nationals with my teammates sa broadcasting. Tapos ngayong college, walang competitions, more on mga seminars, webinars ang nasasalihan ko. Ngayon, I'm part of the Certified Voice Artist Program sa Philippines. So, sa voice artistry, pero may kinalaman pa rin sa boses. So, yun, doon nahasa yung ano ko talaga, yung niche, kumbaga.
Well, I think yun naman talaga yung ano namin. And thank you talaga, Miss Alia Baito. And this is a great help na makapag-ano talaga sa amin in our particular subject. And thank you for your cooperation. And once again, I am Christian B. Cañanes and Miss Pasyente.
I am Jennifer.
And I am
Gallego.
Stephanie Pasyente po.
Nice to meet you all, guys. I assume same tayo, no? 3rd years.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Laban lang dyan sa
Thank you talaga, Miss Alia. Thank you so much. Such a great help talaga ito. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Okay na.
Nara na. Okay na siya dyan.
By the way, good afternoon, everyone. I am Christian B. Cañanes, BS3 English of Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Colleges Marbel Incorporated.
And good afternoon, ma'am. I am Stephanie B. Pasyente, BSED 3 of Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Colleges Marbel Incorporated.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Angelica Bautista, BSED English 3 from Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Colleges.
And we are here to conduct an interview for our subject in campus journalism. And we would like to ask you some question regarding to campus journalism. And our first question would be,
Here is the number one question, Ma'am Angelica. As a journalist, what are those common problems you've been encounter in operating a campus paper po?
Okay, hello, good afternoon everyone. Let me introduce myself first. I am Angelica Patalingo. I was a former assistant editor-in-chief for the campus paper of the Recorder. So, the problems we've encountered during my time is that it is hard to make good articles because it takes a long time to collect the information and find good angles for the stories to be presented in the paper. Also, the articles should be interesting, the headlines should be appropriate and catchy, and it is very stressful because the content should be checked thoroughly. Wait lang po. Am I audible pala? Maayos po ba ang aking mic?
yes po, Miss Angelica.
Ay, thank you. So, strict deadlines is a problem because we often don't meet them, and before submitting the articles to our advisor for publishing, it is a lot of work because we miss the deadlines around 3 to 6 days or 2 to 5 days later than we are supposed to pass them. So, late submission of articles, late publishing, and more stress to us, especially we are students. So, it is a lot of work, and it is also very stressful to us, the upper editors, because when the assigned people don't do their articles properly, we have to rewrite them completely. So instead of having the work divided, more workload comes to us. So far, yun po yung mga na-encounter namin na mga problems.
Well, thank you for
Ma'am
that,
Angelica.
Angelica. And for our second question would be, what are the solutions you've done to manage well the campus paper organization or campus paper org? Miss Angelica?
Hello, yes po. Sorry, nagkaan.
Kailangan.
So, okay. We used to hold weekly meetings where we address problems such as upcoming deadlines and the progress of our writers. We look at their progress of their work by making them submit a rough draft every week, so we can work on making it a better article. And so by doing this, we avoid missing deadlines, and everybody does their work diligently. And because of these weekly meetings, we communicate our ideas with each other, so we avoid any misinterpretations of our ideas and to avoid conflict, because the conflict will affect the whole team, and conflict will affect our productivity. So dividing the work makes it easier as long as everybody does their job right. And when the deadline is nearing, we often gather to work on the paper. So we just sit on a big table, we just write, type, and correct our articles. Also, if there is any arising problems in between the members of the journalism club, we talk it out with each other with our advisor. So those were the steps that we took.
Thank you, Ma'am Angelica.
Miss Angelica, would it be okay if we are going to include your name in our recorded video so that it will serve as one of our evidence that we conduct an interview with you in our subject? Would it be okay to include your name?
Yes po, I consent.
Thank you, Miss Angelica. Aside from that, we would like to ask if it is okay to ask some background of you, especially on your experience, your position, writing, especially in dealing with journalism.
Okay po. So, a small background of my journalism life. It started out in elementary. I was originally a news writer, but then we had an empty slot for copy reading and headline writing. So on third grade, I started attending seminars, local seminars for copy reading and headline writing. And as elementary students, we didn't really have hands-on work for our paper. We just submit a lot of articles to our advisor, which I know they did a lot of revising. And so in high school, in our first year, I tried out for the recorder, and I was what would you call this? A sub for another copywriter. I was a sub for 2 years before I was tapped in 9th grade to become a competitor for the school district schools press conference. And during that time, I won 4th place. Sadly, only first, second, and third could go up the next. But in my 4th year and my grade 11th year, we persevered, and I went to, in my 11th grade in senior high school, I went to Dumaguete City to represent KNCHS for the National Schools Press Conference po, as number 1 sa ating region sa Sorsogon. Ano ba? And a background sa school paper is there are times na kailangan face-to-face pa kasi, kailangan namin maglibot sa whole school, interview a lot of people, ask consent to take their pictures, especially since na-promote kami to editor-in-chief na assistants. We had a lot of work to do, and it's fun, but it's also very stressful because you have to stay late at school around 6 to 7. Yan yung uwian. So, yun po.
So, nung elementary, Jel, magkasama na kayo ni Alia?
Yes po. Classmate kami since first grade hanggang nag-graduate kami grade 12.
And then, aside from that, ano pa ba yung I think di ba, as a writer, what do you think na pwede mo na ma-advise sa amin in dealing with journalism?
Personally, the advice I could offer is to read every day. Dati, pag malapit na yung contest or even sa pag-write ng paper, I had to read 2 to 3 newspapers every day just to keep up with the daily news. Sometimes, if hindi kaya ng budget yung 2 to 3 newspapers, read online. And I think what's important here is just need to know the facts so you can write better papers. And also, as a journalist, you really need to read a lot. You have to be a wide reader in fiction, non-fiction, in news, even sa mga entertainment stories. You just have to be updated. Yun po.
I would like to say thank you, Miss Angelica, for participating in our live conference. And thank you so much. It was such a great help in our subject. And we are thankful that you are able to share your knowledge and also your experience. And we would like to say thank you for your efforts, and especially for spending your time with us. Thank you.